Okay, thank you very much. So I'm talking today about the OPC Foundation and our partner system, focusing a little bit on our collaboration with all the other partners, where we believe it's the largest ecosystem for industrial interoperability, talking about the agendas, topics listed here. As you know, and this is what I do always as a first message, OPC UA is not a protocol. I can't say that not enough. It is more an enabler to really to move data and exchange data in a consistent information in a way which is scaling from sensor to cloud and back, obviously, and also horizontal, which is independent from any market. And we will dive into the field level communication initiative a little bit later today. Very few updates very quickly on the OPC Foundation. I'm not going through all the details because I believe you know the OPC Foundation. I don't have to do the introduction again and again here. But status today, we are now 795 members, so we are nearly going to 800 members. And what you see here on the board of director, we extended the board of director in 2020 with company Amazon. Which is one of the largest automation companies in the world, specifically in the area of process automation. Peter Zornio, the CTO, is a representative on our board. And they not only joined the OPC Foundation board, we have nominated them, but this company also joined the field level communication initiative, as they see this as an important, or the most important initiative in the world, moving to a next communication generation based on OPC UA. Some more very quick summary of information. Google Cloud has joined the OPC Foundation. Maybe I've heard that before. We started a couple of initiatives. Also the FLC initiatives, meanwhile, did the kickoff for the UA Motion group. And the OPC Foundation joined the Ethernet APL project group, which is also a very strategic group, because we believe that putting OPC UA on top of Ethernet APL, advanced physical layer, is critical important and is the future of the process automation. OPC UA has been selected as the communication for the second channel in the so-called NOAA architecture, Namur Open Architecture, but we believe over the years OPC UA also will migrate into the first channel, into the data channel, not only in the second channel, not only the diagnostic channel. If you want to read more, go to that URL, opcfoundation.org/APL. Just one hint, we started the election of the OPC Foundation board right now. Half of the members, or nearly half of the members, get re-elected every year. So we have stability on the board. Only half of the members have to be renewed. This year it's challenging because we not only we have 7 open seats, so 7 colleagues on the board have to be re-elected, but we also have 3 additional new candidates from VDMA, Intel, and Google Cloud. So election has started already, begin this week, and we will announce the new board of director on December 9th. You can block that date already. We are open the registration soon. It's a global assembly meeting of the OPC Foundation. I will not dive into the details and explain OPC UA. This is exactly not the talk about, but we again and again like to mention that the O from OPC Foundation stands for openness. This is critically important to understand that we really want to, not really we want, we do. We share all specifications once they are released open in the web. You don't have to be a paying member of the OPC Foundation. It's free of charge available. Sample code is free of charge available on GitHub. And also, if you are building your product based on a toolkit, which what we believe is the vast majority doing today, you can go to the OPC Foundation lab to certify your product and increase quality without being a paying member of the OPC Foundation. sure you have to pay for the certification fee because somebody is taking care on your product. So all of this is openness, where other associations behave different. They are more closed, and you have to join as a paid member to get all these informations. So joining the OPC Foundation obviously makes sense to get early insights while specifications are on the road, or to also influence the direction of the foundation or of some groups. So let's take care more on the partnering here, which is exactly the talking topic. We believe that the OPC Foundation, with, I think it's maybe even 60, I should have counted them before on the web. We have 60 joint working groups. Just the VDMA started another 4 right now, and we have signed the new agreements, which I will talk in a second. So the OPC Foundation is the enabler for standardizing data and interfaces in multiple markets, and also we are at home in multiple initiatives around the world. Sometimes people are really surprised that OPC UA is mandatory, required for Industry 4.0, but it has been published in a public document by ZVE in the year 2017 already. If you want to name your product is fulfilling the Industry 4.0 basic capabilities, you have to mandatory implement OPC UA. It does not mean that your product has to embed OPC UA, but you can also use gateways to enable your existing products or machines, but you need OPC UA in front. There's no change in other areas. Still, OPC UA is part of the China initiative. In Korea, it's also a national standard in these areas. But we see much higher visibility and acceptance in North America. We are partnering here with SESME, and I have one more slide about this a little bit later on. Overall, the process is public and consistent, and our rules are public. And this is what is critically important, because everybody, we want to be neutral. We do not want to just be connected to who is acting first. We just published and updated all of our definition of joint working groups, the criteria, how to start this. All documents are open and available. All templates are available. And if you click to the URL, you also find a long list as an Excel sheet available for everybody, where you see the complete list of all activities, of all joint activities. You see, is this group still active? Who is the chairperson? What kind of versions have been released? And what is implemented? Where is IOP tests available? What has been certified? And so on and so on. So, which means you can immediately and direct contact that working groups. And this is really important for us. We updated our process. It's much more on a better legal framework, but we wanted to keep it extreme short. On the left side, you see that the multi-organization collaboration agreement, where we can cooperate with a lot of companies and accept the basic rules, is just 2 pages. And obviously, we are linking to some external documents, which we are also extending here as an appendix, that you exactly know what you have signed. So the MOCA agreement plus the charter plus the IPR policy of the OPC Foundation, which is also just 2 pages, is exactly the new package what we are signing in a modern DocuSign process when we are starting new joint working groups. The overview of that joint working groups is growing, as mentioned before. I shared the link where you see also the details of this. I like to give you a short hint that we are growing in North America. We are strategically contacting all these associations here, which are also under the roof of the so-called Manufacturing USA, because we figured out they are working sometimes on topics where we already have solutions, and we we try to avoid overlapping standardization because just others are not aware. For example, there is a VDMA OPC Foundation joint working group on the robotics information model, and obviously we want to stay in contact with the ARM, Advanced Robotics for Manufacturing initiative, to make them aware of this, just as one example. So we will hear more of these more initiatives driven in North America. Obviously, the VDMA is still one of our key partners here because they are so much bundling all these activities under their roof. It's the European largest association inside machinery. Maybe this graphic is outdated. I updated the number to now 29 joint working groups. And we are right now, just this morning, we talked about another joint working group, which is doing their kickoff in January. So this is here a small delay. Because we involved other companies and lead companies from the market. The idea is here, together with VDMA and the main association partner, Spectaris, to work on analytical and laboratory equipment. And as you know, we already have an ADI, Analyzer Device Integration information model. So this is exactly where we now, before we start a new working group, are in contact with them, doing harmonization and try to avoid overlapping. We try to avoid redefining the wheel, but obviously addressing the needs and the wishes of this association to work on a very basic common layer for this analyzer devices. So it's their goal is not to go into the depths and do information models for specific devices. It's more to have a basic class, let's say it, or basic information model, which is used by all of the others. Second, what I like to announce for two reasons is the new joint working group with SESMI, what we have started already a while ago. It has been initiated mostly by Erich Barnstedt from Microsoft. He's very involved in OPC UA for years. I like to highlight this for two reasons. Number one, Uni here from Finland is deeply involved here, other companies around the world. But it's also because it's not only the traditional way of writing a companion spec for a device or for a machine. This time, it's a UA information model for the cloud, which is with the goal to load information models as a library into the cloud and then allow to access these information models via OPC UA REST API interfaces. And this at the end enables to work in parallel. So you can order a machine which is fulfilling a specific companion specification, like I'm a pump or I'm a robot. But before you are getting the real device from the company, you have access through a public cloud where you can download the information model and you can start designing your dashboards and writing your software in the IT world. And once you have the machine, you just plug it together and out of the box, everything works. This is exactly the goal of this working group. All the big IT players are part of this. And so this will be a great success. Okay, talking about certification, this is the third pillar where we are basing our promise of industrial interoperability. We extended the compliance test tool with more than 1,000 test scripts. It is not only about OPC UA core functionalities, but it's also about companion specifications. Right now, we already have 3 of the companion specs integrated, which helps for validation. But right now, there are a couple of, so in total, there are 5 groups right now working to integrate their information model into this CTT tool. So you hear soon, begin next year, more from the weighing group, from IO-Link, from Umati, and so on. So a lot of groups are on the road right now. We definitely have all these templates, a companion spec template, also the noteset file. We have updated much more precisely tools like the validator, and suddenly if you're using the correct current companion specification template, everything is online in our online reference. Here you see that we do certification for both, for OPC UA, but also for companion specification. This is exactly what customers and clients expect from us, that we do a one-stop shop certification. And this will be extended in future also with UA safety, motion, in further future also on APL, TSN, 5G. This will take a while. We are also cooperating with other associations because the OPC UA, OPC Lab, oh, sorry, we can't do safety certification. So we have to rely here on other experts helping. Wait a second. Wow. I want to mention here that OPC UA is something like a brick, a collection of technology bricks, as you see it here as a comparison to the Lego bricks. But then we have these so-called full-featured OPC UA profiles, which is something like a package where we group them into functionalities. And this is where we are working right now much more to update, to integrate new functionalities like PubSub, create new packages also for different use cases for the field, together in cooperation with the field level communication group, but also for other scenarios like gateways and cloud scenarios and so on. So you will see soon more packages here in public in the profile reporting tool. Overall, and this is what we want to publish more and more, are all these companion specs, which is in all these different markets, are published immediately, that we avoid any double standardization. This is why even today you have an online searchable specification reference where you have all companion specification and all the core specifications. So this is really critical, important, definitely. Looking to the future, what's coming up? I'm talking about, well, there's a lot of stuff coming up, but I selected here two parts only, starting with the harmonization, and after that I'm talking about the FLC initiative. The harmonization work, I see one of the major, most important core topics and jobs of the OPC Foundation to fulfill. Because we have these 55 or even 60 plus initiatives around the world, and obviously not everybody is knowing and is in contact with each other. So we try to avoid overlap as much as possible. Each joint working group, by default, the chairman is automatically a member of the harmonization work group, which is under the roof of the OPC Foundation on the left side, where all working groups are working, the chairmen are working together. This is under the lead of Dr. Wolfgang Mahnke. And not by accident, he is also the lead of the so-called UA for Machinery working group, which is driven by the VDMA to harmonize their 29 or 30 plus working groups. So we are in a super close relationship to harmonize either interfaces or also data to not create or to avoid creating multiple versions and keep it aligned. Just one picture here from the VDMA. The VDMA internally is harmonizing. They are creating such a base class, which they call UA for Machinery. And on top of that base class, they have all the VDMA companion specifications. So everything which smells like being very common and very useful for more than just that one specific group is moved into that basic companion spec for machinery. I like to give a short overview on the FLC initiative. This initiative has been started in November 2018 at the OPC Foundation press conference. it was really overcrowded, and now end 2020, 2 years later, we have first public results. This initiative has been started to extend the existing OPC UA down into the field level. So it's not an OPC UA version 2. It's completely compatible. There is no compatibility break. It is just extending OPC UA on information models, on features, functionalities, but also on including underlying IT infrastructure. I believe, and again, this is a topic of the talk, this is the largest initiative in the world with the most power behind to harmonize the communication of the next generation in the field, also harmonizing it between process automation and factory automation. As you see here, we have 27 supporting industry players. They are doing extra contribution, but also on financial, but also on human resource. But all the working groups are open to all OPC members. And right now we have over 200 technical experts from over 50 member companies. This is amazing to really actively work on this field level communications initiative. What we exactly want to do is to combine all the strengths from the OPC UA technology, also with the 200 people from the 50 companies, as mentioned before, and their knowledge and their existing knowledge, but also integrate new upcoming underlying IT infrastructure with TSN for deterministic real-time, but also Ethernet APL for the process industry. This is critically important. Overall, we believe that with this scenario, OPC UA is growing down. We are already very strong on the control level, layer 1 and up into the upper layers. And it's no longer that we have multiple media breaks and multiple protocol breaks going from one level down to the other. It is with OPC UA definitely helping to have to switch to more an automation network where OPC UA is exactly the glue keeping everything together and allowing to exchange standardized information, seamless, horizontal, but also through all these layers, even bypassing layers, so you are super flexible here. This is exactly the vision of the OPC Foundation. It's a pleasure for me to do the announcement that the OPC Foundation will start a webinar for specifically only on the field level communication initiative on December 1st. We will open the registration on November 6th. So in 2 days, you will find it under opcfoundation.org/webinar. And we have, it's not a marketing driven initiative. It's really the chairman of the technical working groups are presenting results from the upcoming release. And you can do question answers also. So it's really deep technical orientated, and I highly ask you to join that session to get an update on what has happened the last 2 years. Also available soon is the brochure, which has, I think, about 34 pages, something like that, of OPC UA field level communication, explaining exactly the use cases and the solutions, the scenarios, and the architecture behind. With this, I like to do a call for action. Again, the OPC UA plus companion specifications is exactly the promise for 100% industrial interoperability. You don't need an additional paper where you have additional information on how to connect to something or what should I configure. No, if the companion spec is written in a good and well way, all informations are integrated into that companion specification. Plus, the OPC Foundation is providing tools for validation and certification. So the call for action definitely is stay on top of what OPC UA is delivering as technology bricks. It's much more than just a little bit data access and so on. So it has integrated security, which is allowing to do a completely fully protected security, but obviously you have to enable it and configure it. There has been some messages right now around the world that companies forgot to enable it. So yeah, if you don't lock your door and keep it open, obviously everybody can join and join your house. There's a brochure, but also companion specifications are the key for standardizing data. So if you can't find your initiative in the overview I provided you, please contact us and we will try to help. With this, I just point here with one slide where you find more information. All the recordings of OPC Day are public. All the presentations are public. This is part of our of the openness. Please subscribe to our newsletter. And this was my presentation. I'd like to thank everybody here for joining, and I'd like to thank Uni and the Finnish Association here to invite me again as a speaker. Thank you so much.